To Nation, it is day 52 of the Fit and 10 Challenge, 18 more days to go officially speaking, and it is National Napping Day, so hopefully you got a nap in today, and this is a little segue into, of course, the last few days I've talked about sleep and things that will help to improve sleep. Now I'm going to talk about a few things that, well, basically the effects of when you don't sleep. All right, so here we go. Or I should say, like, things that will help to reduce the painful effects of not sleeping. All right, so here we go. Number one, consciously observe your eating when sleep deprived. Okay, so normally what happens when you're sleep deprived is cortisol levels go up, and this makes it more likely that we'll go after pleasurable foods because, without getting too much detail, when you increase especially carbohydrate consumption, you reduce cortisol levels because of insulin release, and that works with the brain to produce neurotransmitters that make us feel better. Okay, and there is I'll go into this maybe in a future video in terms of how how it works physiologically speaking, exactly how it works. But you know, typically we see through studies that people on average have about 300 extra calories per day when they're sleep deprived. Number 18, remind yourself to stay active when exhausted. Okay, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Number 3, don't ditch your workout, but do give yourself a break. So this is really, really important. It doesn't have to be all or none. I suffer from this myself, especially with my training, and this has led to many injuries, and I think it's held me back in my training in terms of being a competitive athlete. But even just for yourself, it doesn't mean you have to go in the gym and have a stellar workout. Even if you go in and do a 50% workout, it's still better. You're still going to go in and burn some energy. You're still going to take your body through the motions, and you know, this is still something. This is still worth something. All right, so you know, don't ditch your workouts just because you're tired, but do something. Okay, it doesn't have to be a full-out workout. Number 4, use creatine as your secret weapon. So this is really interesting, and this is something that I often forget, to be honest with you. So, you know, creatine is a phosphate donor. This is how it works to increase your strength because it basically refuels that muscle contraction currency, which is ATP. So basically helps to replenish ATP faster, but it also provides the brain with phosphates, and this allows us to think a little more clearly, and it also helps with motivation as well. So creatine has a major effect on our central neurology, essentially our brain. And it's also been shown, this is sort of a side note, it's also been shown to help to prevent things like early onset of dementia and Alzheimer's. So creatine is you know, arguably more important for your brain than it is for your muscles. All right, number 5 here. Save coffee for peak performance. So coffee will tend to have a better effect if you don't drink it that often. If you're drinking it all throughout the day, you're never going to really notice it. But if you're having it here or there, like, you know, max once per day, you know, you're going to notice the effects of it. But in particular, save it for when you need to perform at your maximal, at least physically speaking. And so it's actually a really, really great pre-workout to have. All right, getting some caffeine in your system. It is one of the most proven ergogenic aids, believe it or not. So just simple caffeine. All right, so there are some things to reduce the painful effects of not sleeping. Let's get to some questions from people. Somebody asked me, they're able to get their heart rates up higher now. So they are essentially, their body is better conditioned now. They can get their heart rates higher. And their question is, if my heart rate is higher, I believe this is their question here. Let me just read this out loud. So they say, what I've noticed though is that when I do my cardio, my low heart rate is in the 140s and my high heart rate is in the 180s. I don't feel any strain. It's actually getting easier to do these sessions. Does that mean I'm able to burn more calories with higher heart rates? The short answer to this is yes. What that means is if your heart rate is sitting up higher, you are taking in more oxygen. And if you're taking in more oxygen, there's a reason why we need that oxygen. We need that oxygen for energy production. So oxygen fuels part of that energy production. That is that aerobic energy production primarily. And so if you're taking in more oxygen, there is obviously some glucose that's fueling that as well. Okay, there has to be some, beyond oxygen, there has to be some actual other fuel component to that that's coming from the body. So, and essentially that is energy, okay? So, primarily in the form of glucose. So yeah, you're burning more calories as a result. All right, 6 minutes in, let's get the message of the day. I gotta remind you guys, this is so important, and I know you've heard me say it before, but you've got to plan and prepare and execute over thinking about being disciplined and motivated. Discipline and motivation don't really mean anything, and that type of thing is going to come and go. But if you set out in your calendar, the days you're going to work out, the days you're going to do food prep, and you just abide by that calendar, just like you do in the work week, like you're not motivated to go to work. You know what I mean? Well, maybe some companies or maybe your employer has some way of helping to motivate you, but the reality is you're just not always going to be motivated to do whatever you have to do. So, but you have to go to work, and that's part of your schedule, and so you do it, with the odd exception of being sick or whatever. So the same applies with your eating and your exercise. So it just has to be in your calendar and planned and prepared for, and then it'll happen. You just have to follow through, right? You just got to treat it like your job, right? I mean, you go to work because you know that it's really non-negotiable, right? If you don't show up to work, you're going to get fired, or you're not going to get your job done. But the reality is with your health and your fitness, it's the same thing. It's not, it's really not negotiable. I suppose it's negotiable, but you're going to have to deal with the consequences, right? We're not made to be sedentary. We're not made to be just not doing anything, okay? We're really not. We're not made to be sitting around all day. So, keep that in mind. Think about your health. Think about the quality of your life. So not just the longevity, but think about the quality of your life as well. All right. So with that all said, day 52 wrap up. Happy napping day. Hopefully you get a nap in today. And positive energy, positive vibes. Believe in yourself, of course. And I guess I should read some gratitude, right? I missed some gratitude. Do I have time for gratitude? I do have some time. Let's just quickly pick some gratitude out here. Very quickly here. Come on. Can I find it here? All right, I will have some set out for tomorrow, and I promise I will read it. Okay, I have one here. Did I read this one? Gratitude for this week. My kids, the roof over my head, work, staying consistent, taking a chance and signing up for Fit in 10, and being able to work with 2 great trainers. Thank you. Being able to wake up every day and have one more day on this earth. I believe I read this one. Mother, I was about to swear there. I gotta find a better way of organizing this. All right, here's one more. No, I've read that one. All right. It's all right. I always forget to organize this one, and it's the gratitude. Something I need to improve upon for this week, okay? I'll talk to you guys all very soon. In class tonight, we got some legs, and so come on out. Although I'll probably post this video after class. Anyways, talk to you all very soon. See you guys. 18 more days. Plan and prepare and execute. That's all you got to do. Give yourself a chance to see the results. Well, it's on.